Hello everybody, welcome back to Andertons TV. I'm Pete.
I'm Lee, and this is the Boss GX-10. You may be familiar with its bigger brother, the GX-100.
Yeah.
That came out 2 or 3 years ago, and this is basically a more affordable, condensed down version, but with the same power and the same touchscreen, which is pretty cool, because I think this is going to make this just about the most affordable pedal on the market with a touchscreen.
Right.
But yeah, less buttons, so it makes it a little bit more affordable. Do you want to go through 2 or 3 presets? Maybe this is like an unboxing-y type video. Pete and I have had about 5 minutes to play with this.
First impressions, isn't it? What does it say on here, Lee?
That says, Roland would like you to like and subscribe.
Right.
And every 10,000 new subscribers, we're giving away pedals. And then when we get to 1 million, we're giving away the Klon.
Maybe we should get one of these to give away at some point.
It's not a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea, is it?
We'll go ask. Right, before we go into patches here, we talked about it having the same basic processing power and screen as GX100. So 32-bit processing, 170 effects types, 32 guitar amps using the AIRD tech from GT1000. You can upload your own IRs into this if you want to.
Okay.
It's good for bass players because it's got bass amps in it as well.
Acoustic?
I don't know. Acoustic? Probably.
Yeah. Acoustic simulators.
The optional Bluetooth dongle that you can buy for most Boss products now, Katana and Boss multi-effects processors, is available, which means you can now do everything on the screen here on your phone if you want to.
But now it's a touchscreen, so you don't have to.
Exactly, USB-C, all that stuff. So let's get into it. We'll go through the first 3 or 4 presets, whatever, and then maybe we'll dive in and see what we can do.
Let's do it. We did take the noise gate off this.
We did.
Just because.
Just because Pete has an allergic reaction to noise gates.
Yeah, I get allergic to noise gates. It's a strong first preset.
Yeah, strong first preset. Boss definitely in the school of showing off just what the basic amp sounds like on the first preset, as opposed to some brands who throw everything, including the kitchen sink, into the first preset.
Because there's no reverb on this, which really surprised me.
It did, right.
Because, you know, you always get lots of reverb. Anyway.
Here we go, patch number 2.
Here we go.
Of course.
Oh, heavy metal, that's exactly it. Sounds
Another
great.
one, no reverb.
Yeah, no reverb.
Studio Blues.
There it is.
There's some reverb.
I wouldn't necessarily say this is Studio Blues. What amp is this?
It says Amp 1 bass, probably a Bassman, I'm guessing. Nice, and is it dynamic?
Yeah, it's
sort of got a bit of...
I mean, aren't they all these days? you know what I mean? There's no lag anymore. There's no, and they're all dynamic, and the fact is, it's 32 bits really makes a difference as well.
Jason, of course, a classic Roland jazz chorus.
John Connon.
Maybe it is.
It is. He likes that. Just as a Jesus Christ clean. Can we say that? I can say that.
Those are his initials.
If I say it long enough, it gets through, right? Isn't that how it goes?
Here is Overdrive. Oh, no, actually, we will. Lead Drive. I've just realised as well, when I said amp says bass next to it, that's got nothing to do with the bass.
No, that's the bass.
That is literally the bass. I know. I've just realised that. It's like, oh my God, only doing these reviews for 15 years and I'm still useless. Right.
I like the big clear display. Crunch lead.
Me too.
I like it.
Yeah.
sounds like there's some stereo going on.
I like the fact that, you know, we're 7 patches in or whatever like that, and they're really focusing in just on the amp sounds. You haven't done anything crazy yet, and I think that's always a sign of a confident, you know, when you're confident in whether your amp sounds are any good in this kind of product, you do just go, right, that's it. First 10 patches, just going to have some basic amp sounds.
And that's what all you need, isn't it?
Let's have, Neo Soul.
Oh, no,
Come
no,
on, Pete, you
no.
can.
I
You
can't
can do
play
it.
that.
Play all your church chords. So look, I think probably now we might as well get into... Let's do some tweaking, see what it does.
Because I'm sure there'll be a million videos out there of people playing these, right?
100%.
I'm sure.
So,
tweaky.
We got 3 switches and an expression pedal. Let's dive into our favourite thing we've never seen a brand do before. Whoever came up with this, Matt Knight, well done.
It's the best feature.
It's really clever. To be honest, this will catch on. Yeah. Everyone will do this. So look, volume all the way down. The tuner comes on. I mean, of course.
You don't have to, you can press it as well, but why? This is just so perfect. Why haven't people done that before? Look at my arms.
What's wrong with you today? All right, Donald, let's go.
Don.
Now, again, really nice looking tuner as well, because not only on the left here have we got perhaps the sort of conventional display, on the right you've got your polyphonic thing, so all 6 strings at once if you want. Wow, that's cool, man.
6 at once. That sounds like a good party.
And then as soon as you... and then you push the volume control back down, turns the tuner off, you're back in. So 3 switches across the front here, 2 basic modes it works in. We're in the sort of up and downy mode. I don't know if that is an official word for it, but it's up and downy mode now. So basically up and downy mode, I'm going up and down through the presets. And then the C1 is whatever the control foot switch has been assigned to. So
tap tempo or another pedal or whatever.
Hold these 2 together and we go into manual mode and we get these nice illuminated colours above the foot switches. They relate to effects within that preset, and then it's a little bit like having pedals on the floor that you can turn on and off, and this again is all assignable, so you can get these 3 to switch on and off whichever presets you want them to be. Let's go out of manual mode back into patch uppy downy mode. This is your other way of implementing the tuner.
Yes, but you don't need that, see? This has got now a tuner button. You don't need that anymore.
I guess if you've assigned this to a wah-wah, then you'll still need your tuner mode. I've gone back to the first patch because it's and we're going to edit that one basically because it's a simple patch. So my page buttons go through various displays for that preset. So what have we got? We've got massive writing. What number are you on? Medium-sized writing
with the name.
You're on. Yeah. Then you've got essentially, what are we in now? We're telling us what the foot switches do. So now we go into the signal chain, and again, if the little sort of, what do you call a 6-sided shape? Is that a hexagon?
Sexagon.
Something like that. If it's not coloured in, like the wah and the compressor and the overdrive here, it just signals that although the effects are there in the chain waiting to be switched on, they're not actually switched on at the moment. They're not active, that's the right word. You can see actually this particular chain has split the rig into a 2-amp stereo kind of mix, if you like, whereas, you know, so if this line was just a solid line going all the way through just 1 row, you just have 1 amp, but you can see it breaks it out into 2, which is pretty cool.
Then going back into 1 though?
Then summing it back in, yeah.
Can you choose the different, you know, could you choose to have like 2 amps to go out, a different amp on each side?
I believe so, Mr. Pete. If I just hit the effects button, hit where it says mix, I think this stereo mode at the bottom here will either pan each amp left and right or just leave the effects.
So you can have 2 different
stereo.
amps.
Yeah.
That's clever. I like it.
Okay, so actually I wanted to hit that effects button anyway because essentially this is where we get to see all the effects that
it's very old school display, that, isn't it?
It is a little bit like, I think, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the old game show from the 1990s called Blockbuster with Bob Holness. I think you were probably still living in Denmark at the time.
Probably,
but, people of my age will remember the classic line of, "Can I have a P, please, Bob?"
I'll take an E, please, Bob.
You'll have an E. Right.
Okay, so now that I'm in this edit mode, obviously I can engage any of these other effects that I wanted to.
You can hear it, come on.
And you probably
Strong.
noticed at the bottom here, the 4 edit
Knobs.
controls here are now allowing me to adjust whichever effects block I've got illuminated.
But you can do that on the touchscreen as well, right? By moving your finger back
I'm
and
not
forth.
sure. Let's have a look. I think you can, but I think that's a bit more fiddly. I think you'll be...
It's nice to have tactile buttons. It's like cars nowadays. They move all the buttons away. Why do you do that?
Exactly.
Why?
We love a knob, right?
I love knobs. Everywhere.
So, across the top here, we've got tons and tons of effects that we can drag from this top menu down into the bottom menu, either to replace what's already there, or if I drop them in between, it kind of adds the block in.
Clever.
So you can see, I think they're all kind of roughly color-coded to emulate the sort of, often Boss compact pedals. So yellows for overdrives and orange for distortions and things like that.
Right.
So you have a look along the top here, you can see maybe, I don't know if there's someone we can grab off of the internet to just list all the different effects that are here, because there's going to be, I'm now moving the wrong one along. You can see along this top here, there's absolutely millions.
But it was 170, was there? That's crazy.
Yeah, that is a lot, isn't it?
That's a lot of effects.
Including a looper at the end here, which is cool, and also a send and return. So there's send and return on the back, which you can then assign to your chain.
Which other unit like this has got a send and return at this price point? We haven't talked price point yet, but...
It's £350.
Yeah.
So...
Links below.
I think it makes it the cheapest pedal, at least at its normal retail price, to have a touch screen. Whether it's effects returns, I'm not sure. Comment below if your £300 effects unit has a send and return. But yeah, this sort of touch screen is pretty tactile. I think
Critical.
only that I think I quite like it when screens show a more graphical representation of what the thing is, as opposed to a
bit like
coloured
the
hexagon. Well, yeah, I mean, I'd have to say Boss, I think, have been slow in sort of bringing their graphical interfaces up to speed. But, you get used to it, don't you?
Yeah. And if you're used to that anyway...
I mean, you can have a ton of effects running simultaneously here if you want. You really can. It's a powerful processor. It's a powerful processor. Anyway, so what was I going to say? So let's, for example, then, change out that overdrive just to show you how I would do it. So we whiz back over here, we say, right, I don't want it to be an overdrive anymore, I want it to be a distortion. So I'm going to put my finger on the distortion button, I'm going to drag it down over here, I'm going to dump it in there. Oh, it says execute and overwrite. Blimey, that's a bit like terminal, isn't it? It's like, okay.
It's a
yeah, I think it is. Execute and overwrite! Right, so we said yes, and you can see now.
Wow! We said yes.
You can see the distortion is now has replaced the overdrive in the chain, and the overdrive has gone back up to the top, and you can see we can change.
Oh.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
So then you're changing it through.
I've just sorry. I've just assumed that this one distortion block was just your distortion pedal, but no, look at this.
Inside.
Through distortion type, you've got DS1, A-dist, Fat Dist, Lead Dist, Rat, Governor, Dist Plus.
Wow.
That's it. So each of these hexagons has got like dozens of, several different choices here.
Are these all the same as the pedals, you think?
Well, they'll be digital representations of the pedal, won't they? But yeah, that's what they'll be emulated around. Let's play around with some different reverbs. So if I hit this reverb button on the end here, I've got some different types.
Maybe we can take the reverb off, the delay off, sorry, the overdrive off. What am I talking about?
I'll take the overdrive off, you're absolutely right.
Just, you know.
Or just completely off?
Yeah, that's it. That sounds good, actually. Love that.
I've got 3 types of reverb. So reverb, reverb plus, and reverb shimmer. And then as I drag those down, each of those has the your choice. So we'll just, do you want a plate or a medium hall or
anything, man?
Anything. There's a lot of you've got to get used to this idea. Even though you've only got 4 knobs per effect, if you use the page left and right, you can see. So this one's actually got 9 different parameters for the. So it's tons and tons of flexibility. So there's our plate. If I want some delay, I'll just switch that on. On the delay one, interestingly, it does appear that you've only got 1 type of delay for that block, and then if you want a different type of delay, it's about using a different block. So let's put some analog delay in here instead. There we go. And
it's like a Dalek.
What have we got? Okay, so we've got either mono, or I can have the dry out of one side and the effect out the other.
Oh yeah, so now it's like...
Bit of modulation.
I like it.
Yeah,
Picasso.
What's delay plus? Let's just change that. Okay, so we've now got a more traditional style of step.
Sounds nice, man.
It doesn't sound bad at all, does it? I think what I want to try and do now is play around with some of the different amp models. So I'm just going to switch this into, I'm going to remove the 2 amp thing and just go back to a single amp thing.
Let's do that.
So I'm going to get rid of this div dividing div. Did we do we realise in England that is a sort of playground term? Div, you div. But obviously that's not what it's.
It's like a stupid person, basically.
I actually don't know what it even means, but that's what we used to call people at the school. Right, so we get rid of the divider. Now actually you'll see what this has done, which might be a cool sound anyway. But
so now straight in.
Now we've got 2 amps in series, which obviously,
Turn one off.
So now we get rid of one.
Take the delay off as well, please.
You want the delay off?
Just turn it off, just click it so it's off. Whatever that amp is, I like it.
All right, so now we're basically...
Sorry, I'm playing...
No, it's all right. Now we're basically going to go through loads and loads of amp sounds.
Right.
So we got transparent. Oh, that's like
I'm
a
very
DI,
transparent.
isn't it? Yeah.
Unlike... That's like DI, isn't it?
Natural. Boutique.
It's nice.
Not bad, is it?
Not bad, is it?
Supreme.
Does it have anything to do with the name, play on words, Supreme?
Could be a super reverb, I guess. But we got the
That's
gain.
not a super reverb. Is that more like a Dumble, maybe? Who knows?
Who knows?
Nobody's ever played a Dumble.
Maximum.
Do you have the time?
Juggernaut. I mean, bearing in mind, let me just see. Oh, right, I see. The first few all look like their boss's own names for amplifiers. I've just scrolled through a bit and you start to see some more familiar names.
Right.
So, X-Crunch. X-High Gain.
X-High Gain.
Yeah.
That's good.
Elon Musk's new amp model.
That's his new amp model.
X-Modded. X Ultra. I don't like that one. X Titan.
X Titan.
Okay, now we're into names that obviously we'll be familiar with. So we got the JC-120.
Sorry.
Sounds weird without chorus on it.
Yeah,
it?
could you just put the tune? Yeah, look at that. That's clever.
Twin combo.
Twin combo. I think Boss nails their own amps.
Yeah, I'm going to take you through. I mean, we've got 5 different pages of parameters here, and there are some quite cool ones if we go in. So we've got type, gain, level. Over here, this thing called gain switch is emulating a lot of those amps that have like a 3-way, you know, sort of low, medium, high, like the Deputy.
Like a Deputy.
Then we've got bass, middle, treble, presence, normal. Bright switch, solo level, that's cool. And then, but this is where it gets kind of interesting. So sag and resonance. Then you can elect, this is where your IRs come in. So your speaker type, when it says original, it's matched to the amplifier. So that would be whatever a twin, you know, would normally have.
Yeah.
Then you can change it, obviously, to different types of cabs. Or as soon as you get into the user banks, which are all the way at the end here, and there's nothing stored in here at the moment. All the user stuff is your IRs that you might decide to load in. Interesting.
I like that, sounds good.
Then I can change what microphone I want to be on the cab, the distance from the speaker, its position relative to the center of the speaker, all that kind of stuff. So next amp, oh sorry, we had, yeah, so then we had a tweed amp.
All the same blues licks all the time.
I missed one out, I missed the deluxe out, my favorite one. Diamond, so that's going to be a Vox, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've got British stacks.
Balls!
A recti stack.
A recti
stack.
stack.
You go to the hospital to have it addressed, isn't it?
That's a procedure,
it's
isn't
a
it?
procedure.
I think that sounds good.
Hello, Miss Honora. Yes, I see you're in for a recti stack today.
You're booked
if
in
you just
for a
like
recti
to
stack.
put this gown on and take this tablet. Match
You're
combo.
booked in on the 2nd for a recti stack. We're going to have to move your appointment. What? I'm missing some volume here, Lee.
It is a bit that, isn't it? That's the end. So
that's a lot. Well,
yeah.
I'm on it to 24, 25 amps?
I don't know. I wasn't really
Something
paying
like
attention, but
I think
plenty,
it was 25.
plenty,
24?
plenty.
24? 23. So close.
Right, let's look for other things on here that, I mean, I don't, like I said, don't necessarily know we've got the time to go through every single type of effect there is, but I would like to show you the looper, because that's kind of cool. Wow, you've got all, Boss are very good at doing those weirdy, wonderful effects as well, so you've got all your sitar simulators and your
Let's try some of that. Let's try some of these.
Okay, let's have some... What?
Maybe pick another amp that's less sort of drivey, if you can.
Okay. SG.
Oh, it's a slicer. It's a slicer?
No, what do you call that thing?
Where?
That's it.
Slow gear. We'll love that.
So you got all that kind of, and I think Boss are always very good at doing that kind of thing. What else have we got here? We're going to look at the looper. I think that is definitely worth messing around with. Yeah, so let's see.
Chord.
I think, so the idea is, I think again, this is another thing that maybe Boss might look to do on maybe future firmware updates, who knows.
Ooh.
You can drag the looper in, but you've still got to manually assign then the fact that you want the pedals to do things like start, stop, record and all that kind of stuff, which won't only take us 2 seconds to do, but I kind of feel like if you drag the loop into the chain, it's sort of almost obvious that that's what you want to do, isn't
Why don't
it?
you use the preset that was before then instead?
So we've got this preset now, which is user 66.3 called Looper Drive. You can see here, I believe, yeah, so it's just a standard, it's a guitar amplifier with its in X high mode. None of the other effects are switched on except for reverb, and the looper is there. So if I come out of here, I will need to go into manual mode, and you'll see what will happen here. So when I go into manual mode, you can see now, this is actually a great example of manual mode. This is going to turn the overdrive on and off. This is going to turn the PFL. This must be some sort of flanger, I'm guessing.
Try it.
Yeah, phaser flanger, something like that. And now the cool news is my control button, the blue one here, is the looper, and it's going to work like a one-button looper.
Right.
So count
1,
as
2, 3, 4. And then double on top of that, I guess.
Now, if I want to just turn that loop down,
That's
because
the loop, yeah.
I need to leave that down. I'll go into the
tune.
effects, find the loop, and then basically there is a loop level control there, so you'll see me doing that. So, there we go. And this, it
Big
just
and clear,
works
stop.
like, yeah, no, stop! It just works like a one-button looper does, which is pretty cool.
And it's the soft switches, isn't it? So it's
Yeah,
not clicky,
not
that's
too
nice.
clanky, clunky. Obviously, anything that we edit here, create our own effects, change whatever, I can save, write over whatever was there before, or save in one of the user banks. What's our overriding? I mean, it's super cool that it's touchscreen.
Yeah.
I think the amp
That's
models
a step
sound
forward.
really good.
Yeah.
And there's clearly bucket loads of effects in there.
Tons. And 25 amps is enough.
That's like the best
that's
feature
epic.
ever.
I mean, it's got an effects loop, which is great, send and return. It's a contender, isn't it?
Yeah, and I guess ultimately, if you're looking at this going, do you know what, that sounds really, really good, but I just wish it had more foot switches on it.
Just buy the next one.
GX-10, which is
What
its
about
bigger
GX
brother.
1000? Is there not one?
That's GT-1000.
GT, that's
so
even
that's
different.
That's the next level.
Same,
up of
same, but different.
processing. Same, but different,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I like it.
What else is on the back here? We talked about the Bluetooth.
Yeah.
You can obviously add other expression pedals in, or foot switches if you do want to expand the foot switch functionality.
Yeah.
Headphone socket.
A big headphone socket.
Yeah, we talked about Bluetooth, didn't we? Obviously, that you got to buy that as an optional extra if you want to Bluetooth use it.
Nice solid construction.
Cool. Yeah, all metal. I mean, Boss stuff. It's like it lasts forever, doesn't it?
Absolutely. So. Shall I get my ME5 out that I still have, which is still working and is still brilliant?
Well, there we are. I think that was a decent little first impression, wasn't it? And a run through.
It's relatively easy to use once you get into it, right?
Yeah, I think that was. I
I like the
getting to grips
touchscreen
with that.
I think the touchscreen is a big plus.
Well, there we are. Thank you
go.
very much. I hope you enjoyed this little video. You will be able to find links in the description below if you want to read more about the spec or what it does. Maybe you might want to buy one. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yes, that'll be in the description below.
Christmas soon, isn't it?
By the time this video comes out, it could be really soon. Who knows? Anyway, thank you for joining us. See you next time.